Day 293, the Russian case. We were gazing up at the sky, the night sky, when I brought up something I had been pondering. I was thinking, I said, of the Abrahamic Covenant, and I was wondering about the case of Russia and the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union didn't bless the Jewish people, yet it was one of the world's greatest two powers. Two of the two great powers. It is not a mechanical formula, he said, or one in every repercussion that must instantly be manifested. But let's look at it. In the late 19th century, the Russian czars and the czarist government embarked on an all-out war against the Jewish people living in the Russian lands. They instigated mass uprisings of violence against them called pogroms. They sought to drive the Jews out of the land or else murder them. But the Abrahamic Covenant decrees, what you do to the Jewish people shall be done to you. And as it has been done to the Jewish people, mass uprisings began in Russia against the Tsar and the Tsarist government and overthrew them. Russia was now communist, the Soviet Union. But under Soviet rule, the anti-Semitism continued, and the Jews of Russia were oppressed and treated as a captive people. So the Soviet Union was itself a captive civilization. Then, in the Second World War, the Soviet Union warred against Hitler, the enemy and destroyer of the Jewish people, and was critical in his defeat in liberating the Jewish people from concentration camps. So it had blessed the Jewish people militarily. So the Soviet Union was blessed militarily to become a superpower? Yes. But within its borders, the Jewish people were still oppressed. So according to the Abrahamic Covenant, they would be blessed militarily and yet cursed and oppressed domestically. And that is exactly what happened. But then in the late 1980s, the Soviet Union ended its oppression of the Jewish people and granted them freedom to leave. And it just so happened that at the very same time, Russia and Eastern Europe were released from the oppression of communism. I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. Amazing, I said. A promise given to the Middle Eastern tent dweller determining the rise and fall of superpowers. Because the God of that tent dweller is real and faithful. And when he gives his word, you can depend on it. It is stronger, much stronger than kings and superpowers. The mission. Ponder this fact. The word of God is stronger than powers, even superpowers. Today, live accordingly and use that power for victory. Genesis 12.